Hello, my name is Brandon Davies. I'm a criminal defense lawyer based out of Overland Park, Kansas. In this video, I'm going to be answering questions about probation and how to get off probation early. Now, just like anything, preparing to get a desired result is always going to be the best way to do it. So whenever you're crafting some sort of plea deal or doing some sort of sentencing after a criminal offense, if you have the foresight to talk with the prosecutor about early termination of probation, that is awesome. That is going to make your case a lot easier to get you off probation early. If you can put some sort of caveat into the plea deal that the prosecutor won't object to early termination of probation at the outset when you're signing your plea deal, if you've completed certain things before that early termination allowed, then that is going to set you up for the best possibility of getting off probation early. If you didn't do that and you're trying to go in after the fact, after you've been on probation for a while, and you are trying to get your probation modified or terminated, there's a couple of ways to do it that you're going to have good results, or that you have the best chance at getting good results. First, you need to look at the reason you're trying to get off probation. There are valid reasons to try to get off probation, and there are invalid. Valid reasons are going into military service, you're moving out of state, you're trying to take advantage of some sort of tremendous opportunity you've got, maybe a new job or going to some sort of new school, something like that. There are invalid reasons also, like wanting to do drugs and not wanting to be tested any longer, or not wanting to report to probation, or something of that nature. If you're gonna try to get early termination of probation, you're gonna have a lot better results if you have a very good reason, or at least some sort of reason that you can give to the judge that they can hang their hat on when they're deciding whether they're gonna let you off early. Aside from that, aside from the reason of probation, you're going to want to do some other things that are going to set yourself up to have a good result. Number one, toe the line. When you're on probation, do what you're supposed to do. Don't miss meetings. Pay your costs, your fees. Do your classes. Do anything that your probation officer has listed in your probation agreement that you're supposed to do, and do it to a T. Now, step two, obviously the inverse of that. Don't have any problems. Don't have any positive UAs. Don't miss meetings. Don't lip off to your probation officer. You want your probation officer to get on board with you getting off probation early, and not because you've been really difficult on probation. You want your probation officer to go into the court and say, this person deserves to be off probation. They've done everything I've asked them to do. They take this super serious. Step three, do something extra. Do something that's not required by your probation. Maybe it's volunteer work. Maybe it's do some extra counseling. Maybe it's do some extra drug screens. You want to go into the court and show the judge that you've taken not only his instructions or her instructions serious, but you've looked at other ways to make yourself look good to the court. Step number four, don't ask too early. Don't try to do this 2 weeks into your probation. If you're given a year probation or 2 years probation, as a general rule of thumb, you want to wait till you at least have served half of your probation time. That way you've got a good track record under your belt, so when you go to the judge and say, look, I've done all these things, I've done good on probation, can you let me off early? Again, if the judge wants to let you off probation early, they have some reasons to. Now, after you've done all of these things, the last step is to file your motion for early termination of probation. It's a good idea not only to do everything we've talked about before, but also to go to the prosecutor before you've filed your motion. Try to get them on board. Go to your probation officer. Try to get them on board. If you get the probation officer and the prosecutor to not object or agree to early termination of probation, you're going to walk into the courtroom having the two biggest obstacles to your probation termination already under your belt. And if the judge is looking at your case and the other side isn't objecting and your probation officer is saying you've done good, you're gonna have a lot better chance of getting off that probation early. Now, if you have any other questions about probation, getting off probation, get your probation early terminated, or anything of that nature, feel free to contact my office at 913-451-9500. Thanks.